Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Adrian's Digital Basement 2 Super Mini Mail Call. Well, and hopefully the video is mini because the mail call item here is not. These packages here, they come from the same viewer, William in Pensacola, Florida, and they're really big. I have them on a cart here for easy movement and rolling around in the basement. So I want to open these up, take a look at what's inside. Lots of packing material here. Under all that paper, well, let's see, we got all sorts of things and they're wrapped up nicely. So perhaps I'll take the smaller things, put them on the bench, and well, I don't know, I need to strategize here a little bit. Looks like we have a letter here and a little small package. All right, here's the letter from Cody here. Thank you for accepting the donation of the VGA monitor and Explorer computer. Well, that kind of gives away what this is. I hope it safely arrived, which it did. The boxes look completely unscathed. I look forward to seeing them on your channel. In addition to the previous items, I have also included the following: SD card to IDE adapter with 3D printed holder, CF card to IDE adapter, a 64 megabyte card erased, IBM floppy controller with cable, 2 Explorer computer mice, maybe bus mice, I've never used them, piece of a floppy cable, okay, original HeadStart Explorer battery in case you need to identify and replace it, and a Blackmagic Intensity Pro PCIe capture card. It's fairly old, but it might come in handy. Blackmagic, interesting. I do my video editing with DaVinci Resolve, which of course is made by Blackmagic, an Australian company. Thank you for all the excellent content. Have a great day, Cody. Well, thank you, Cody. I think from a strategy perspective, I just need to get all the loose items out of the boxes here, and then I'll unwrap them on the bench, I think. And here's the second box here. We'll just take a look at this. It did get a little bit squished, but I don't think that's actually a problem. I gotta say, I love having this on a cart. It makes it really easy to move around these big boxes. Alrighty, this is gonna be the computer. See if I can unwrap this without scratching it at all. Because of course, if I try to cut into this tape, if I'm not careful, I could accidentally scratch the computer. So make sure not to do that. I'll use these safety scissors here. Wow, this thing is much bigger than I thought it was gonna be. And what we see here is the HeadStart Explorer 2 computer. Now, wow, it's really big and it's really heavy, much bigger than I thought. So, I don't even know how you open this. So I think that this top part is the keyboard. Oh, and I think there you go, just lift it. And there it is. So you'd almost think that it should have like a flip up screen or something like that, but nope. This is kind of how it works. And I guess they wanted to keep the whole system portable and foldable. And you know, I suppose if you could somehow fit the monitor over this, then you close this up and it would give you more space on your desk. But it feels like, in a way, if you just had a keyboard with a cable, you could unplug that and do the same. Okay, so let's look at this side here, and wow, this thing is really, really heavy for what it is. Floppy drive, a full height floppy drive. We have a mouse connector, which does look like a weird connector that's not PS2. It's sort of like the same as the serial connector on the Macintosh. This, which I don't know what that is. And on the back, there's some kind of a slot connector here. Maybe there's like an ISA slot. There's an ISA slot in there. All right, so regular looking joystick port, a 9-pin monitor port, something that says disk, D-I-S-C, so I guess a floppy drive connector, modem, so that's serial port, and it says color and mono, so there's a color mono switch. That would be for the video outputs, obviously CGA, and we have a printer port. And on the bottom here, it just says HeadStart Explorer model EX-938-CP, 115 volts. And we obviously have a built-in power supply because there is a power cord. Now I wonder, how does this cover come off if we flip the keyboard up? Definitely, maybe there's screws. Oh, seems like there's a way. Oh, look, that does just come off. Okay, so you just sort of squeeze it a little bit and that lifts off. And inside we have a little riser card, which I guess is an 8-bit ISA slot. And there's actually another connector right next to it there. You can just see it, which I'm assuming maybe there's a built-in modem or some kind of other expansion that this thing has. There is something for battery right here, which I think Cody mentioned in his letter. Let me just pop that cover off. Judging by the picture here, this is going to be like a little lithium battery, sort of something like the Macintosh uses. Now I am curious, does this machine actually need this? Oh, yep, that's exactly what that looks like. So that just looks like a standard lithium. And you know, you could easily just add a CR2032 and it does work in place of that. And maybe I'll do that, soldering just right to these connectors and just leave the battery holder right over here. Because obviously the ISA card, which it can only accept a small one, but I guess a small sound card could be something that would be good to put in here. All right, let's just pop this cover back on. I do have to say, it's pretty nice how little yellowing this thing has on it. It's just like a little bit dirty, but overall, in really nice shape. And then on the final side we haven't looked at, there is what would be a power switch, and I'm sure there was a button there at some point that has gone missing, so you have to stick your finger in there to push that power switch. All right, so we got some other stuff here. Let's see what Cody has sent along. Now we know, of course, he sort of said what he sent. Looks like in here are some of those adapters. So that is the IDE to compact flash adapter. It's an interesting one. You know, I haven't seen this exact version. It's got like the laptop header there for the pins. And then this, which is that capture card from Blackmagic, HDMI inputs. Wow, I'm gonna have to give this a try. I wonder what this cable connector is. And then right here is the battery. That's the same as the Macintoshes uses. There's that compact flash card, piece of a floppy cable, okay. All right, here is what I think is the IBM floppy controller. And it does have the original cable here. That's it. That is definitely an IBM floppy controller. Very cool. Useful for XTs. It's got the NEC 765 floppy controller chip and the external floppy drive connector. The large chonkin one, which this computer decided not to use. All right, next up is this, which is the SD card in a 3D printed holder, which actually, that's kind of cool. You know, in the old days, they used to sell these that actually had slot covers on them, and I had one. And they stopped selling them for whatever reason, but basically you can stick it in the back of your machine and just use a normal SD card. It has this IC right here, which translates between the SD card and basically what is compact flash, which is really what is just IDE. But I should have figured that there was something like this to actually hold these, so at least it could be in your drive bay, so you can get that card in and out really easily. Although I have to say, I really like the idea of it being on a slot cover, so this is not exposed on the front of your retro computer, which doesn't look super authentic. All right, and then here is one of the HeadStart Explorer mice. And let's just see if it has that matching connector on it. And it does. And you know, maybe I think about it, that is actually the bus mouse connector. So maybe a Microsoft bus mouse would be compatible with this thing. Actually, I know I saw a video on the Explorer on someone's channel. Maybe it was Cathode Ray Dude's channel, CRD. Oh, this one, oh, this mouse looks absolutely brand spanking new. Wow, it even has a little bit of foam to keep the ball from rattling around in there. Very, very nice. But anyhow, yeah, the HeadStart Explorer, I saw that video on it. I think the claim to fame of this thing has got like a built-in operating system on it that you turn it on, it just boots right up into it. And then you basically can start working, like word processing, whatnot. I think it's like a very GEOS-like or Tandy DeskMate-like operating system. Only certain Tandy models had DeskMate in ROM. Most of them require booting into DOS, either via floppy disk, like the earlier ones or later ones, that was built into ROM, and then you had to use a disk to load DeskMate. All right, let me move this out of the way so we can take a look at the monitor, which I don't think is related to this particular computer, but I think it's from HeadStart, but the later machines that had VGA, I think. But maybe it's the one that matches this. I guess I should unwrap it and we can figure that out. And I am definitely pleased to say that it looks to have survived, and monitors definitely can be destroyed pretty easily in shipping. So I love it when they arrive properly. And really, to have them arrive properly, you just need a lot of packing material. There it is. Yeah, Vendix HeadStart VGA. So this is not the monitor that matches that computer. Now let's just take a look to see how it survived shipping. There's a little crack right here in the case, just like that. So Cody, I'd be very curious to know if that came from transport or if that was there already. All right, so there it is. Has the VGA cable with missing pins, which means it works on even the oldest system. Taking a closer look, there it is, Vendix HeadStart VGA M. I think that's 888-VC, or maybe those are 6s. Really hard to read font. This monitor is one of the ones that doesn't have on-screen display, so it has analog controls. Well, actually, it just has 2 controls on the front here, which unfortunately, they are stuck. And that's not because the monitor got damaged in shipping. That is because those potentiometers are frozen. The grease inside has gone solid. Usually some of that contact cleaner I have will loosen those up and allow them to spin freely again. Flipping around to the back, well, there it is. There's a Samsung label right on there. Model number CQ4551, color display, 120 volts, and it has the built-in cables right here. And there are some controls for V-Size, V-Size 2, and V-Size 3. Kind of interesting, there's no horizontal hold control or horizontal position control, because with early monitors like this, sometimes when you switch resolutions, the picture would move around. So unless there's like some hidden controls somewhere else on here, no, I don't feel any. That's a little lame from you, Samsung. Where are the rest of the controls? Now this monitor is pretty dirty compared to that HeadStart machine, which is really, really clean. But I think it should clean up relatively well. Like just this little bit of cleaning I'm doing right here is already having a dramatic effect on it. Now you're probably looking at this monitor and wondering like, why did I even want this and why did Cody send it? Well, the thing is, for me, I really love like this 13-inch VGA monitor era, and it's really hard to find ones that actually work at all. Now Cody had turned it on and tested it for me, plugged it into something, and it did seem to work properly. So that's why I had him send it. So let's hope that it still does work properly, and you know, with a little cleaning and oh yeah, look at that coming off on the magic eraser there. That's that sort of mildewy stuff. A little bit of magic eraser and some retro brighting. This thing probably is gonna clean up really nicely. I don't want to put too much effort into cleaning it before I even try it, because yeah, it might not even work anymore, right? I hope that's not the case, because that would be a shame to have sent this thing all the way across the country from Florida. All right, I grabbed my test bench so I can test out the monitor first, since it's what's sitting on the bench. All right, the test bench is powered up. Let's try the monitor here. Sounds good, sounds normal. I hear the high voltage and everything. Now, keep in mind, I cannot adjust the brightness and the contrast knobs because they are frozen. Ah, it's coming alive. Ooh, okay, well, as you can see, it is working. It is quite dim, it is on the dim side. And because the monitor controls are frozen, I got no way to try to tweak those. It's definitely brightening up just as it's running a little bit. So that grid is totally bright and fine. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking too bad. I mean, it's funny, it could be this video card to be honest, because the bright text is very bright right now, but the dim text was very dim. So I think it's just coming back to life. So there it is, all 16 colors, and it's looking pretty good now. There's a lot of lights on in the studio here, which of course makes it harder to see. There's 256 colors, mode 13. Cool, and it's switching modes properly, and the color purity looks good. It's gonna need a little bit of a tune-up. I've gotta free those knobs, it needs to be cleaned. But that is one working 13-inch monitor, thumbs up. And yeah, so like I said, the brightness is too low. Yeah, that's what you get. And here's Planet X3 running and everything looks nice and bright. This is the VGA version of the game. But yeah, now it's a little bit too dark just because that brightness control needs some love. Excellent, so this will be a future second channel video most likely where I take this thing apart, clean it up, possibly disassemble it entirely so I can put the entire plastic case out in the sun, especially while it's still summertime, because I would like to try to bring this thing out of its yellowness a little bit. It probably always a little bit beige, because I can see the color down here on the bottom of the tilt stand, but this is way yellower than it really should be. It's just a kind of a beigey color. All right, awesome. On to the HeadStart computer. All right, so the HeadStart Explorer doesn't work with that monitor, it works with CGA. So I'm gonna use this cable, and I'm gonna have back here behind the signal generator, I have the RGB to HDMI. So that's what we're gonna use to get some video out of this thing, so I don't have to grab a monitor right now. Even though actually, to be honest, I have the 1084 monitor sitting right over there on the floor, and that's totally CGA compatible. But we'll just use the RGB to HDMI. It's already here, it's already plugged in and everything. All right, let's get this old style twist tie, like from garbage bags way back in the day. Haven't seen those in forever. Okay, there we go. Flip that down. Look at that. Pretty cool design. It's just, it is weird how like there's all this empty space here. It just feels like there should be a screen there, like a flip up screen. But I don't think that was really like the thing that this computer was going for. Okay, RGB to HDMI is connected. There is the menu. I have this set for TRS-80 Model 3 because that's the last thing I was using it for. So let me go switch this to like Tanny 1000. No, let's find the IBM CGA profile. Now, speaking of this RGB to HDMI, I've asked Ian, who maintains this really, to maybe add like a pop-out menu or sub-menu, or you could pick like Apple Computer and then scroll through those profiles. Because it takes quite a long time to get through all of these. And obviously he's like, oh, we just take out the ones you don't use. But the thing is, me personally, I use kind of a lot of them. I mean, there's Color Test, I guess, I don't know what that is. Color Genie, I don't know what that is. But ultimately, yeah, like I use a lot of these profiles because I have a lot of these computers. So it would be nice if like a quicker way to scroll through these than just this very tedious click, click, click thing here. And maybe I've gone too far. Here we go. PC, CGA, IBM New. That should be the one. How do I turn this on? Oh yeah, the power switch is right here. Oh right, there's a hard drive in this thing. Okay, the hard drive does not sound happy. Let's turn that off for a sec. This seems to be in monochrome mode, which is why it was flashing like that. I'm gonna switch this to color. Let's turn that back on again. Oh, and the hard drive is not spinning. Let's give this an old bump. Let's give it percussive maintenance. Huh. Well, the hard drive gave up the ghost, literally just like that. But there it is, the HeadStart Explorer. So right away we have that nice color CGA graphics. It's pretty cool. And I noticed when it was in monochrome mode, it was displaying some graphics as well. So I think this thing has some kind of Hercules type graphics or whatever. There's a power LED, a turbo light, floppy drive, and a hard drive light. Why is it not even giving me an error? Okay, the floppy drive just seeked. I'm assuming it is unhappy about the hard drive being unhappy. Oh, look at that. Boom, right into like a graphical OS. I should have plugged one of these mice in. Let's grab the one that's not brand new. So right off the bat, one thing I can tell you is that basically this is running in some kind of like, it looks like 4 colors, high resolution CGA, 640 by 200. That is more colors than CGA itself supports, which the standard configuration is just 2 colors, black and like 1 other color, which is typically white. And that's what like Microsoft Windows would run in, for instance. So this looks a little bit better running in this 4 color mode, which if I recall, is very much like the Tandy. I think the Tandy also supports 4 colors in 640 by 200, and of course 16 colors in 320 by 200. All right, mouse is plugged in. I did power it off first. Let's power back on. Yeah, funny how the hard drive is totally dead. I don't know how to get to like the text mode here. Is there a BIOS setting? But no, I'm pushing delete. That doesn't seem to do anything. Anyways, I guess I'll need to take this thing apart. That'll be for a future video. Find out what kind of hard drive that was in there. It sounded kind of noisy. And put in, hopefully, an emulator. Of course, the fact that it's got a card slot, that means I could run the XT IDE in there. If I want to use better sound, well then, that's just the 1 slot. It's giving me an error, which I'm assuming is the ROM. Error executing C:/toolkit.cmd. Fatal error, unable to execute. Control-Delete. That doesn't make any sense. How could the ROM be corrupted? There's no disk in the disk drive. If this thing can no longer boot off its ROM drive, that's weird, considering it's a ROM drive. How could that get corrupted? So like two things, oh, there we go, okay. The mouse doesn't seem to be working, but, oh, I just realized it's got the foam on the bottom here. Huh, look at that. Piece of foam covering the mouse ball. How cute is that? The mouse pointer says, do this. What? So, wow, it's sort of sluggish. And according to the LED on the front of the machine, it's running in turbo mode. Please insert your Explorer data disk. Didn't see that. Okay, so I guess we can't do quite everything. Oh, well, look, okay. The calendar came up, very nice. Do you want to quit? Yes. Okay, so like the graphics are slow, very slow. And that is, oh, look, it's telling me the mouse is attached. Okay, that's very similar to DeskMate. Let's click over here on the computer icon. Let's see what that gives us. DeskMate on 8 megahertz XT is pretty slow. So they're calling this the bulletin board. You can switch between command comm, bulletin board. Obviously, you need the battery for it to save these settings. We have date and time, use DOS, erase disk in A or B. And then, yep, there it is, color, graphics emulation, CGA. And then we have monochrome, but it says HGC, so Hercules graphics. So let's click on use DOS, and there it is. Every time you hit enter, to exit DOS, press enter. Can I change that with a new prompt command, $P, $G? Yes, that was it. So it's at the prompt. Okay, so this is obviously the ROM disk, and it does say 0 bytes free. And these are the apps here, Word, phone, file, datebook, stuff like that. There's a launch, there's a toolkit, P buffer, mouse sys, auto exec bat. You know, hey, there's a little bit of stuff in here. What version of DOS do we have? We seem to have MS-DOS 3.31. I typed exit and it says we can continue exploring. Here we are, exploring on the HeadStart, yes. Why don't we give the word processor a try? It has a picture of a typewriter and you have to double click. Yes, okay. There's the word processor. Hello, this is the HeadStart Explorer. Wow, yes, the character update rate's not super fast. This really could be faster. Yeah, it lags a little bit on the typing speed. Keyboard doesn't feel totally terrible. It's a little bit mushy. The enter key, when you hit it here, it's a big ass enter key. It's fine, but if you push it right there, not fine. So either it's like a badly stabilized button. I mean, these other keys are stabilized without issue, but it's a little annoying. I guess I hit enter right there with my pinky normally because I'm pushing that and that's not working. All the rest of the keys do seem normally stabilized though, not too bad. And so far every key I've typed on is working. It's making beepy noises because I'm typing too many characters. Save this, new file, old file, check spelling. I mean, I'm assuming you can't do spell check. Yeah, you need to have a floppy disk to do that. That would be totally expected. We do have some fonts on here though. So you can't even select text. Clicking just simply moves the cursor around. So I was trying to select a word. If I double click, nope, that doesn't work either. There is bold. This is bold. I hit the extra space there. Find text, save new. I mean, it's very, very basic. But, you know, this works. If you have nothing, it's certainly better than nothing. Why don't we try this, the file cabinet. All right, yeah, start a new file. Is this like a database? What? Add page design mode, add file, okay. Okay, add line, let's put phone. It wants text or numbers. Why don't we put numbers? Yeah, I mean, this is some kind of a database thing. Okay. HyperCard, like a really primitive early version. There it is, a phone. 345 dash. You can't put dashes though. Can't put spaces. All you can do is simply type in numbers. Okay. Let's see if we push F1 for help. It's probably gonna need, oh no, look, browse mode, you're entering information, add page, search, sort, print. You know, it's slow, but it's kind of cool. definitely this is my first time playing around with this. I wonder who makes this whole OS here. Someone did, and maybe it was the creators of this computer, Vendex. Let's click on the help button here. From the bulletin board, you launch Explorer applications, run MS-DOS applications, and configure your HeadStart computer. To run DOS programs, insert the disk, then use Start a Program or Disk Navigator screens. Okay. The bottom and right edges show pictures representing accessories you've attached to your computer. Select the picture in the lower right to configure your Explorer. So what, like modems and maybe a second disk drive and stuff would be there? Interesting. Anyhow, I think I'm gonna end this mail call video here. This machine is basically working except for the hard drive, and I haven't tested the floppy drive. So definitely need to do some more exploring on this thing. I want to find out more about it and just see what it can do and how fast it is. It's kind of like an alternative to the Tandy 1000 EX line. I don't know if this has 16 color graphics, and if it does, like who makes those graphics and how compatible are they? I'm sure they're not Tandy compatible. The hard drive just spun up. Wow. Let's see if this thing can make less horrible noises. Well, let me try rebooting. See what happens with the hard drive spinning. Boy, just as I was about to end the video. It's not making those horrible noises. Okay, the hard drive is there now. Let's open it. Auto Magic, it says. Oh, and there it is. There's stuff on there. It looks like just a copy of what's on the hard drive. Oh, wait, I see why, because the drive is currently just the Explorer. Okay, there, it's making bad noises. It's unhappy. I think the stepper motor needs oil. Yeah, okay, I'll just turn this off here. Yes, okay, so that'll be a future video where I work on this thing. Open it up, we'll look at the insides, we'll see if I can get that hard drive working so we can see what's on there and test the floppy drive. And I'm assuming the hard drive is gonna be like an MFM drive, or maybe it's XT IDE type drive, which I don't have any XT IDE drives. It would be neat to piggyback an XT IDE and a sound card in there at the same time, but I don't think that is totally possible. So anyways, Cody, thank you very much for this. Thank you very much for the monitor, all these other accessories and stuff. These will come in useful for various builds and stuff. And watch for future videos on the HeadStart and on the monitor. I can't promise when those are gonna be, but they will be at some point in the future. I have a lot of projects down the basement. The generosity of my viewers donating tons and tons of amazing things means that I'll have projects literally forever at this point. There's so many. So anyhow, cool, very cool. Oh, and I do have to test out this capture card. Here it's all twisted in the mouse cable. Anyhow, thanks again. And if you like this video, thumbs up. If you didn't know what to do, all that usual stuff. And patrons, their names are gonna be scrolling up this side of the screen now. Thanks to them, really appreciate it. But thanks to my viewers for sending in all these amazing donations for Super Mini Mail Call episodes. It is simply amazing. All right, that's gonna be it. So stay healthy, stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye.